Big hello to all my viewers. Today's tutorial is on VLANs. So here I have a network and I'm going to configure this campus network to support inter-VLAN routing. Uh, we have a 3650 multi-layer switch. This switch has to be enabled to support inter-VLAN routing. We have four VLANs here: VLAN 1, VLAN 10, VLAN 20, and VLAN 30. Then we have three switches, three access switches, which have to be configured with management IP addresses in VLAN 1. So these are the three IP addresses that we have to configure them with. Next, we have three PCs, one each in VLAN 10, VLAN 20, and VLAN 30. We have a server 1 in VLAN 100. Now we have to configure the ports between these two switches as trunk ports, and we have to do basic practices like using 802.1q protocol and also configure the IP default gateway on each of the access switches. At the end, we have to make sure that the PCs can ping each other and the server. Make sure that the switches can ping the PCs and server. Now, what is access port and what is trunk port? What is the difference between the two? An access port sends and receives untagged frames. That is, all the frames are in the same VLAN. While a trunk port supports tagged frames, that is, it can switch between multiple VLANs. An Ethernet interface can either function as a trunk port or an access port, not both at the same time. A trunk port is capable of having more than one VLAN set up on the same interface. As a result, it is able to carry traffic for numerous VLANs at the same time. It is time for us to now look at the configuration of our network. We will start with the core switch, which is a multi-layer switch. This switch is configured with four VLANs: VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 30, and VLAN 100. Using show VLAN and show VLAN brief, we can see the various properties. So I will type show VLAN here. It shows me four VLANs which are all active. Then I will also do show VLAN brief, and this will show me which interfaces belong to which VLAN. So currently, apart from 1/0/20, all the other interfaces belong to VLAN 1. Next, I will configure my ports for this core switch. Have two ports. Uh, have to. So first, I configure gigabit Ethernet 1/0/20, which is connected to my server on VLAN 100. This is an access switch, so I type switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 100. Now I also have to now for the next port, which is gigabit Ethernet 1/0/1. This is to be configured as a trunk port, and for configuring a trunk port, we have to specify the encapsulation, which is .1q, and after that I write switch port mode trunk. Now similarly, I do this for the remaining two ports, 1/0/2 and 1/0/3. Moving forward, I have to now enable inter-VLAN routing. So first I have to give an IP address to my core switch. So for that, I write interface VLAN 1, no shut, and give the IP address as 10.1.1.254 with a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. This is already given to us. We only have to look here and configure it accordingly. Next, we configure VLAN 10, VLAN 20, and VLAN 30, and VLAN 100 as well. We have to give IP addresses to all four VLANs. So this is what I've done. For VLAN 10, I have 10.1.10.254. For 20, I have 10.1.20.254. For 30, I have for 30 I have 10 dot. Okay, I think I have not configured for 30. I'll just check to view my VLAN 30 configuration. I will write show int VLAN 30, and here I can see that the IP address has been set to 10.1.30.254. Now coming back to our code, our commands. Here we are done with giving IP addresses to our VLANs. So next we will configure our access switches. Now to configure our access switches, uh, we first go to our interface, our core switch, and we define a BTP domain name as BTP domain CCNA. This domain will be learned by all the access switches, and they will now know which VLANs have been configured at the core switch. Starting off with our switch 1, we first configure gigabit Ethernet 0/1. This is a trunk port, so I simply write interface G 0/1 and switch port mode trunk. Then I move towards my other port, fast Ethernet 0/1. This is an access port, and it is part of VLAN 10. So I write switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 10, and then I give an IP address to my switch 1, which is 10.1.1.1 with a subnet mask of slash 24, and then I write no shut. Now that I have given this an IP address, I can ping the core switch from my access switch. So I ping 10.1.1.254, and to be able to ping other devices in other VLANs, I will have to define an IP default gateway. So I write IP default gateway, and the gateway would be the core switch itself. So 10.1.1.254. Now I can even ping 10.1.20.254, and I can also ping the switch over here. So that completes our switch configuration. Now we'll configure our PCs and server. So we go to each PC, and as per the instructions given to us over here, we have to put the IP addresses accordingly. So going to the first PC config, we go to we first configure our gateway and DNS server. So the gateway will be the IP address of the VLAN, which is 10.1.10.254, and the DNS server, we'll keep it as the same. Then we go to fast Ethernet 0, and over here we give the IP address to the PC, 10.1.10.10 with a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. We can check whether everything's working correctly by going to our terminal and trying to ping. Let's ping 10.1.10.254. That works. Let's ping VLAN 20. Let's ping the first switch. That works as well. And if we run traceroute 10.1.1, we can see that it first goes to VLAN 10, and then from there it comes to know that from there it gets delivered to 10.1.1.1. We can close this, and we'll do something similar for the other two PCs as well. Here it's 10.1.20.254, and you can look at the settings over here for PC2. and for PC3, there you go. And then finally we go to the server. In the server, we put the gateway as 10.1.100.254 as the gateway and DNS server, and we give it an IP address of 10.1.100.100 with a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. Again, we can go into the command prompt and try to ping any switch, say 10.1.1.2. That works. Then let's ping 10.30.254, the VLAN 30 gateway. That works as well. So that completes our tutorial on VLAN routing. We have finished this lab. We were able to create 4 VLANs and enable inter-VLAN routing. Thanks for watching.